Some executive shuffling over at Airbnb as the company looks to shift its broader strategy. Deirdre Bosa has the news for today's Tech Check. Good morning, Dee.
Good morning, Mike. This is really a shakeup that puts growth front and center. I got in hold of an email that Brian Chesky has just sent to Airbnb employees announcing the move. He says, quote, "We're about to embark on our next chapter as a company. Airbnb is at an inflection point." And he says, "We're now ready to turn the corner." Now, as part of that, he is promoting CFO Dave Stevenson to Chief Business Officer. 11-year veteran Ellie Mertz steps into the CFO role, and Catherine Powell, the former Disney Parks exec who oversaw hosting at Airbnb, she is transitioning out of the company. Now, growth is something that investors and I have been asking about for a long time. As of the end of September, the company had an $11 billion in cash pile and more than $4 billion in free cash flow over the last 12 years. Now, it's been giving some of that back to investors via buybacks, but this question persists. How can it use some of that to recharge growth or find new streams? Revenue growth was 70% coming out of the pandemic, but over the last 2 quarters, it has stagnated at 18% year over year. So what might better growth look like? Well, Chesky has talked more about international expansion and even a services business. A reminder, too, that Dave Stevenson, he's now the guy in charge of those growth efforts. He spent nearly 2 decades at Amazon. So could he bring that prime flywheel approach to Airbnb? It also is a sort of enclosed ecosystem. Whatever they do, though, their timing could be very smart here. Wall Street is looking for the Fed to cut rates next year, and that means that markets will be valuing growth over profitability. The year of efficiency could give way to the year of growth, and Airbnb would be well positioned. It's also interesting, guys, that Airbnb is not the first tech company to move a CFO into a broader strategy role. Alphabet CFO Ruth Porat, she's transitioning into the role of president and chief investment officer, where she will oversee Google's moonshots like healthcare and self-driving cars. Also, Meta's David Wenner, about a year ago, he moved from CFO into the role of chief strategy officer. All 3 of those companies, tech companies, are looking to expand beyond the core, and they've tapped CFOs to oversee that charge. And Dave Stevenson is the latest.